Earth, but I think I have been homesick for Europa my whole life. By the time you read this, I'll be gone, and the world will look very different from how it does now. But the island should still be there. They built this thing to last. Come to the island if you ever get lonely. Come here and think of me.
My name's Matthew Thomason and I compose the music for Europa. Predominantly I work in film, theatre, I work with a lot of choreographers, and I also compose classical piano music and tour that as a composer and pianist. This is my first foray into working in the world of games, and yeah, it's been a heck of a journey. When the Europa project was starting to come to life, Alex sort of suggested to me that I'd be a really good fit for the soundtrack, and because it needed that kind of cinematic feel and a lot of pathos and emotion, which I'm kind of used to doing. So the first time I met Helder, he was so passionate about the project. He was sort of talking me through almost every zone of the game in the first meeting and talking about his vision, how he imagines the music will play into the game, and he's got a really good idea of what he wants the music to be, certainly what kind of emotions he wants to provoke. And we were on the same page right from the start, and we both kind of agreed that the important aspect is this hero's journey, and how can we make that as cinematic as possible, and really take the player on that journey with Z. And we put a lot of heart and emotion into the music.
Over the years of working on Europa, I was using library music as a placeholder to try and convey the emotion that I wanted each of the zone and each of the different levels to have. This was super useful and super helpful for me and for everybody in the team, and it helped us in like those early playtests to establish the foundation and the mood for the game. But we always felt it in our hearts that we were probably going to need a really good composer to help bring everything together. That's when Alex from Future Friends Games reached out and said, hey, look, I know somebody local here in Cornwall. He's done TV, film, and theater before, and he's really looking to move into games. And looking at the vibe that you're going with the game, I think he would be perfect for this. And that's how we started. After our very first chat, we really connected immediately. His ethos, his passion for music, and the way that he explained the importance of connecting the music, the emotion of the music with the visual aspect, to really convey and to really bring forth the emotion that you're trying to sell at the time.
So I'm based in Cornwall in the UK, which is quite a rural area. It's right at the far end, about as far as you can go into the corner of the UK. And in Cornwall there's a really thriving folk scene and a real heritage of folk music, so there's a lot of folk musicians here who I know, and I decided that I wanted to use as many of those people as I could on the soundtrack. So veering away from the more sort of traditional classical musician route. And some of these parts were kind of recorded in little stone cottages in the middle of nowhere, woolly jumpers on, it's quite damp in Cornwall, and yeah, it's got this real kind of humble process to recording all the parts. Ben Sutcliffe, who plays the violin, I had a lot of conversations with him about how lyrical we wanted to make the violin part, because that violin part in effect is sort of like the human aspect of Z. It's his voice, it's the human part of him that's coming through. with Martin Skews, who plays flute on a few of the pieces. We really wanted to add an element of mystery about midway through the game, and Martin's done an absolutely incredible job of just creating this tension with the flute, and the flute has got this quite haunting effect on the soundtrack, which I'm really pleased with. I also work with Kath Buckler, who plays cello, and Kath's got an amazing ability to just hear a piece and know exactly what you want with it before you even tell her. So yeah, I'm really grateful that there's so many amazing musicians down here that I get to work with.
Matt's film and theater experience really shines through the work that he did for the game. The music he's created has really brought the world of Europa together. From the more tranquil and zen moments all the way to the more bombastic and cinematic moments we have in the game as well. It really complements Z's emotional journey. I just know that there's some really amazing melodies in the soundtrack that are going to stick in players' heads way after they finish the game.
And I've never played any of the Europa stuff at any of my concerts until very recently, and I decided on the night, I thought, I'm just going to play it and see how audiences respond to it, because no one's heard this music. And I played a couple of pieces from the soundtrack, and yeah, lots of people loved it. I think they kind of got what I was trying to do. It's very lyrical music, it's very melodic, and yeah, lots of people could really relate to it, which was lovely. And I'm hoping to perform it a lot more in the future, maybe even the full soundtrack at some point. We'll see.
This soundtrack is everything I ever wanted for Europa and more, and I could not be more honored and thankful and happy to have had Matt scoring the soundtrack for Europa. Thank you, Matt.